If you or a family member have been hurt because of the careless actions of another person, call Walker Texas Lawyer. They'll work to get you the financial compensation and justice you deserve. They have 40 years of experience, and you don't pay unless you win. Call 713-881-9653 today for a consultation or go to walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad. Good morning to you. How are you?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat, Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. We got a very, very special guest inside the Hall of Fame here tonight, representing AEW, but he is a WWE legend. Give him his props, man. Oh, yes. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame, Mark Henry. What's going on, dog?
What's going on, man? I'm raising it up. See, you gave me a little bit of that Trick Williams.
Yeah,
you gave me a little bit. Yeah, man.
Yeah, what? Yeah. Yeah. Man. You know what? Oh, man, you guys got a big event coming into town, AEW Dynamite, as well as Rampage, going down October 18th from the Fort Bend Epicenter in Rosenberg. Kickoff time, 6:30, guys. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Talk to me, man. You guys coming to town. Give me the synopsis.
Man, I'm excited because we never did Rosenberg before. And anytime you go into a new territory and you know this as good as anybody that's ever booked a show before, you got to leave people going, holy hell. And I know for a fact that it's some exciting stuff that's coming. And I'm just looking forward to getting there, man. I'm born and raised Texan. Anytime I'm in a show in Texas, I really want to show out.
I tell you, man, let's just go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. Edge. How big is that for AEW?
Yeah.
Man, that's huge, Book. You know that anytime you get a Hall of Fame caliber talent, not just, and there's levels to it. Yeah. There's levels to it. You know, you got Hall of Fame caliber wrestlers that were more in the assistance role. But when you get a guy that was the franchise, a guy that name was on the top of the bill, even with other unbelievable names, that there was a time when Edge's name was at the top and Undertaker's name was next.
Yeah.
You know, so anytime you get a guy like that, I'm just saying right now that it's going to be more beneficial, not for ratings, but for the development of the people that he's going to be in the ring with.
Yeah. You know, one thing I've been wondering ever since you made the switch over to AEW, you haven't been in the ring or anything like that. What's your role? What's your title in AEW?
Look, I never chased titles.
Yeah.
You know me. I always been a conduit. I always been a guy that wanted the greater good to happen. I always wanted everybody to get to the top. I always wanted success for everybody. And if there was a time when I had a role, I helped run the community effort, the educational programming I ran. I don't do that now. It's a hard job that requires a lot of time, and I'm spending more time working on the psychology side of wrestling with each individual wrestler. I like the fact that I can influence guys to seeing that everything don't work for them. Yeah. And it's more of being a more of a psychology coach than a physical coach. We got guys that teach them how to do it. I teach them where to do it, when to do it, and why you're doing it. Yeah. And those are the things I feel like is the more important elements in pro wrestling, because Booker, you know, we wrestled with some people that athletically couldn't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. Yeah. But if you talk to them and ask them why you do stuff and where you do it and when, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, you kind of like what Gary Hart was to my brother and I in the Global Wrestling Federation. I remember him giving my brother and I some really, really good advice. And he told us right at the end of it, he said, but just remember, I'm not a manager or anything like that. I'm just an advisor. And I go, man, that's gangster, dog. I'm like, that's
for real. I can't make you do it.
Yeah.
But if you do what I say, you're going to make it to the mountaintop.
When you talk about being an advisor in that role, Mark, and kind of coaching people on psychology, you've always had a great eye for talent. And if anybody knows the people that Mark Henry's recruited to this business over the years, and it's a laundry list of top tier talent. Who are some of the guys or girls in AEW, though, that you really like to work with on that one-to-one basis that you call aside and really give them the lowdown?
Will Hobbs, number one. You tell him to do something once, and he do it. Booker, how mad does it make you as a mentor and a coach? You tell somebody to do something, they don't do it. You tell them to do it, and they don't do it. You tell them again, and they don't do it. And then you ask them, hey, why you didn't do what I asked you? And they go, oh, man, I forgot. You know what? I didn't even think about it. I heard all the excuses. Will Hobbs don't have that. Yeah. He implemented immediately. And he is an open book to wanting to be successful. And he takes the advice from people that went there and walked that walk before. And man, I can't wait for him to really, really explain why he's doing what he's doing. But Wardlow, listen, he got it, man. He want to be it, but it's about opportunity. And on the women's side, she already was an established talent. Toni Storm. Toni realizes that it's not about how you look. It's not about, who you're connected with. It's about how you make people feel. And now she is, bro, as good as she was, you look at Toni Storm right now, she's killing it. She got the attention of the wrestling world because of her personality and the fact that she's doing something different that feels like her. And Booker, the comfortability in who you are and what you want to portray means all the world to you. And she's killing it. She's killing it.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I wish I had that title. Not having a title, where you just float around and a check appears in the mail. Can somebody get me one of them jobs, man? But to piggyback off of what Brad said there just a second ago, having had the influence on certain guys like Will Hobbs, like Jay Cargill, like Bianca Belair, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Your
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin, your eye,
Bryan Danielson.
Your eye for talent, scouting talent. Is that your strong suit?
I think so. I think that the ability to look at somebody walk in the room and go, who is that? It's about how they make me feel. And it's not about how they look. It's about how they make me feel. And Braun Strowman, for example. Braun Strowman, when he was around all the rest of the strongmen, he made them look boring. He was not the best. He was the 8th ranked best strongman. But he's the only one that when I went to the Nationals got my attention. One man out of about 35 people. When you see different, you have to act on it because you may not ever get that opportunity again.
Yeah.
And
it's a moment.
When I see people do something spectacular, I saw a little girl in the grocery store the other day. She had fruit in her hand and she was dancing, doing the fruit dance. Mom, I want to get this apple and I want to get this pear. And I was like, they need to make this little girl an actress. That's what my eye does. I see it when it happened. And believe me, Booker, I don't ask for permission. You say you want that job, you can have that job. You just got to go prove that what you're saying is correct.
Yeah.
I went to that kid mama and said, hey, get that baby in some acting classes. She need to be doing shows. She'll be a big star one day. And she said, you really think so? I said, yes, ma'am. Because you speak your mind when you feel that emotion. And you can see I'm excited about it. This is a gift God gave me. It ain't nothing that I was taught. I know what's exciting to me, and I go after them.
Yeah, it's going down, guys. AEW Dynamite Rampage, October 18th, Fort Bend Epicenter, Rosenberg, Texas, 6:30. I guess the door is going to open at 6:30. Bell time probably going to be 7:30, guys. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out.
AWTix.com.
AWTix.com.
You still can get some tickets. We got some tickets that's as low as $20. And for a whole family, like you got 4 or 5 people for under $100, you can get the high quality entertainment for all your people where people will be talking about it for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Man, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
That's less than going to the movies,
Yeah, for real.
For real.
Hey man, one question I'm really curious about. MJF. This guy's super talented. I got a chance to hang out with him not too long ago at Peter Rosenberg's wedding. And I was so impressed with this young guy, man. And I was just wondering, with you being someone in AEW, I guess can I call you an insider?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. No, I'm just trying to be correct here. You being an insider, why hasn't there been more focus on MJF?
I think that he's polarizing enough that every show you already market the fact that MJF is going to be there. And for him not to be greedy, when he could say, no, I don't want Edge. I don't want Adam Copeland. I don't want Bryan Danielson. I don't want Samoa Joe. I don't want a CM Punk. I want the spotlight for myself. Means that he is, just like I said just a minute ago, a guy that wants the greater good, that wants to be successful, not by the means of it's just me, but successful by the means of the organization and the program that you're trying to build. He is brilliant beyond his years. Like you walk in the locker room and he helps with production. He helps with, helping write for people that can't do it for themselves. He goes and supports, and you see him going through like what camera angles to take. He 20-some years old, man. You don't find that very often. And to have that understanding, I'm like, where the hell do you get this from? Where'd you get that from? And it's just him. He pays attention and he understands that it's not just about him. If he wanted to take it, book, it ain't nobody that can stop him. There's nobody there that can stop him from doing it.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. He's extraordinary talent. He's unbelievable kid at the same time. He seems like something that Bun B said to Brad and I not too long ago, that every room that he walks in, it's like his mother is in that room, other than the wrestling arena. You know what I mean? That's the type of guy I see MJF as. But go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, piggybacking off of MJF, one of the things that some people would say about AEW is like, oh, where are the stories? There's not storylines. But I've seen in recent weeks or months, you have MJF Adam Cole, which has been a great story. You have Christian Cage, perhaps doing his best work. Christian's doing, I think this is his best run of his career right now. And then even what you mentioned about Tony Storm and Timeless Tony, these like the other night on AEW where you had the silent film going in the picture-in-picture, really creative ideas. Is that something that you have your hand in, or is that something that you just sit back and enjoy as a fan?
You know what? The person that's writing that, I recognized him, and I said, man, we need to hire that dude. They hired him. He's working on it. Hey, like I said, I don't have to put my hand on it to get it done. It's like what the people that I recruit and scout and get hired is not always what I did. It's putting the people in the room to get the job done.
Yeah. Hey, you just said a name there, and I'd be remiss as a journalist if I didn't speak on CM Punk. I know you was a big supporter of CM Punk.
Yeah.
Time I heard you speak about CM Punk, it was always high praise. And my question is, why do you think the CM Punk experience didn't work out? And just to give you a synopsis, the way I feel about it, I always felt like, CM Punk came in, he was like Elvis, right? Coming into, a small territory. And then, you're working in a small territory with a bunch of young guys. I always say with young guys, you got to be able to go down to their level in order to bring them up to your level. And I felt like CM Punk never really went down to the level of those young guys to kind of bring them up to his level. You can agree to disagree with me on that, but I was just wondering what was your...
Yeah, I disagree. I saw him try to uplift the younger talent, and AEW is not a small pool. AEW is you anytime you can go to an arena and sell 80,000 plus tickets, you're not little.
Not trust me, by no means am I saying that. I'm talking about CM Punk coming from WWE, a guy who had a bus, had a huge contract, an abundance of fans, being a guy that was looked at as the guy who was going to take that company to the next level. That's the only thing I'm saying.
Okay.
As far as that goes.
I feel like that Punk is a lot like some of the people in sports that I know. The people in sports, they hate the fact that college football and college students are getting paid money now. It's an old school mentality. And the old school mentality rubs young people the wrong way. Young people call you a boomer, or they say you're an old or outdated or whatever. And some people are stuck in their ways, but and Punk is stuck in his way, and that's not a knock. I like people. I like conviction. I like somebody that can stand to their guns and they can debate with you on the fact that, you know what, this is why sometimes being an old will save your life. Because I know better. I experienced it. I went through the fire. And I feel like that Punk's delivery of some of that conviction fell on deaf ears.
You know what? I'm not there, and I definitely didn't see it. That's why when I've always talked about CM Punk, has always been about stuff that's going on in the news. I never spoke about CM Punk from a personal perspective, just because it's just not right for me as somewhat of a journalist to speak from those terms.
Part time. Hey, Book, you know who you are? You're a part-time journalist, full-time bad. You know, you better shut your mouth.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm excited though for AEW to be in Rosenberg, you know, right here in the Houston area. Anybody listening, Rosenberg's, you know, just a hop, skip, and a jump, not a far drive at all. And it's right down the road, man. And I'm excited because the first AEW show I went to, it was over in the University of Houston arena that they had over there. And I told Booker afterward, because I had not been to a show, I go, man, there's a real vibe there at AEW.
He had a buzz, and he don't drink, and he don't smoke.
I did. I was like, man, you know, it had a vibe to it.
Bro, AEW is the only place that I ever saw in wrestling where they tailgate. Where they come in the audience already primed. They ready to have a party, man, like that. You sat in the crowd. That crowd is nuts.
They are. But in a great way.
And I love the fact that AEW does not put a premium on them having signs. Book, you remember in the Attitude Era and in our time, like, man, the crowd was full of signs and people jumping up and down. And if you stood up too long in front of somebody could say, hey, man, can you sit down for a second? It ain't nothing going on. Like, you know, it was open. That's the way the crowd is at AEW. Like, we don't micromanage the crowd. Now, we will enforce it. We put that disclaimer out. If you do this and you do this, you're going to be removed. But we don't have security standing out there in the crowd telling people, hey, sit down. Put those signs down. No signs. Like, we don't do that. Yeah. And you got to let the people have fun, man. They pay their money, man. Like, this world is you look around at this world and there's a lot of elements to it that suck. You want to go to the show and get away from the real world. And just if it's just for a couple of hours, and AEW allows the fans to have that time.
You know, that's something that I said in the outset of AEW when they first started. It wasn't like the biggest like WWE crowds or anything like that, but I remember telling Brad, I say, man, when you got that many people in a room and you see it on television and they're all having a lot of fun, man, that's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
And the reason I say that is because of and you remember me saying that, Brad?
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because when I used to watch ECW, in that small little room down there in Philly, that place was I got goosebumps just thinking about it. It was so energetic. Those fans. You still there, Mark? You still there?
Oh, we lost him for a second. It's all right. Good jump back in.
Yeah. Got another Yeah, there you go.
There it goes.
Sorry about that.
No, don't worry about it. Back to what I was saying. Those fans in that ECW arena, they were rabid, man.
Yeah.
And I always felt like if ECW would have been around in the age of the social media world, good God, I can only imagine how that thing would have grown. So you're wrong.
What? If they would have been around now in the social media era, there would have been like 10 people go to jail.
If it was organized,
No, he ain't lying though, Book. They would have had to cancel shows. They wouldn't have had enough talent on the roster.
Trust me, I know that too. But just think how big that thing would have been, though.
I get what you're saying. I'm just being a clown.
I know. Hey, man, I know you got to get out of here, but one more question for me. I got to ask you. I know a while back you had made a statement about the war, and I went on my show and I said, man, what the heck is Mark talking about? It is a war. I said, it's a war going on here. Now coming out off of this Tuesday night war. My question is this. Should we get off of that? should we just think about the fans getting a hell of a show from each brand every week? Because this is what I say. And I say this on my show all the time. I so hate that these sites want to predict a show, want to write a show, want to write the ending of it, want to predict how they would have written it. I hate all of that.
Controversy too. They want to create controversy too.
Exactly. So what's your thoughts on, should that just be alleviated and go away, or should we focus on this war?
There is no war. There shouldn't. Like, you know what the war is? The war is the ratings in your segment. Do people turn the channel to another channel when you're on? When Sexual Chocolate was on, they didn't turn the channel. When the World's Strongest Man was in the Hall of Pain was on, they didn't turn the channel. And you could put me up there with some of the best. When Booker T was King Booker, they didn't turn the channel.
Yeah. So
that's where the war is. The war is in the segments,
the talent,
and the individuals.
Yeah, I feel you.
But if I'm the WWE, I don't want to be on the same night as AEW because I want all the attention. If I'm AEW, I'm not gonna move my show to a day that that WWE is on unless I'm preempted. That's the whole point of AEW going to Tuesday, is because we had to.
Right.
It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna go there and piss in their cornflakes. That ain't what we did. Yeah. Can I say piss on here?
Yeah, you can say that. That's a hell of a, he's a hell of an editor.
I'll take it
out. Sorry, boys. But I'm telling you, man, like, it's not a war. Like, a lot of the reason that things happen is because of programming notes. And with the networks, that's the only way that you should be in a conversation about going on the same channel. Everybody should have you got 7 days a week. And, and Booker, man, don't be taking shots at me.
What?
Because I'm a prognosticator.
What are you talking about?
I go on Busted Open every week and I say what I feel like should happen. Don't be throwing rocks at me. I'm allowed to say whatever I want to say.
I do refer stuff like that. I always say, well,
you see him take a shot at me? He took a shot at me. Listen, I'm going to be in Houston. I'm going to be in Rosenberg on Wednesday. Matter of fact, I'm coming on Monday, and I'm coming straight to your school. Me and you got to sit down and have an eye-to-eye, but you can't be taking shots at me. I'm sensitive.
Bro, I'm sensitive.
I
just came to throw up softballs, man. I got to get stuff in there. People watching, man. If they watch this and they go, man, Book didn't ask him nothing. Book didn't say nothing. He just gave him a lot of softball questions. No, man, it's real talk, man. It's real talk. And that's what I appreciate about you, being able to go on your show on Busted Open and being able to talk real and be able to talk, exactly the way you feel about it. Because I do the same thing here. I do the same thing.
Hey, Book, you know what I like? Is when I make those suggestions and those prognostications, they get used.
Oh, trust me. We've had a lot of
we get on Busted Open and we start talking, and the next week, they doing what we said.
Oh my
because
God.
It's better than the stuff they wrote.
No, but you know what, man, they ain't hating on it. We all gotta do what we do, man. But you guys definitely got something good going over there. And I love wrestling, man. I love the fans being able to enjoy this stuff. I always talk about the memories that the fans always give me when I'm at a convention or something like that, because a lot of stuff that I did, if it didn't touch me, if I didn't feel a certain way, I don't remember it, but those fans that remembered it, man, they'll come up to me 20, 30 years ago, man. And it might be a guy, man, an older guy, man. He might have a tear in his eye from something that you did that many years ago. So the life lasting memories that this business create, It's universal, man. It goes all the way across the board. I'm talking about from Japan, all the way to New Japan, to WWE, to AEW, Impact Wrestling. It goes all over, man. And it's that at the end of the day, that really, truly, at the end of the day, is what it's truly all about. Those fans, and I say that because I see it on a regular basis. I've never seen one fan come up to me and have a bad story about wrestling. Not one time have I ever had that.
And that's what I'm hoping that we can get done in Rosenberg. I'm hoping that we can go and create a memory, that we can go and create a moment for them that people going to say, man, I was there that night.
Yeah.
And AEW has a good history of doing that, especially in new arenas, especially in places where we've never been, and we want that territory. Man, we need another first down. That's the way I keep telling people. Like, it's about keeping the ball moving. We got to get another first down and a first down. You're not gonna score every time. But AEW is moving the ball, man, and I love it, and I pray that everybody feels the way that I do is about sacrifice and trying to make it better for everybody. And MJF is doing it; he gonna be there, and Adam Copeland and the list goes on. It's going to be a hell of a show, and if you are not committed to something right now, that's the only place you need to be in Houston on Wednesday night.
AEWTix.com, guys. AEW Dynamite Rampage going down October 18th, Fort Bend Epicenter. Rosenberg, Texas, 6:30. Doors open, guys. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut up, but make sure when Tony Khan roll back through Texas, he check in with me first, because this is my territory, dog. This reality. I'm just saying. You better make sure you check in with me. Something.
We gonna get our Houston pass revoked?
Exactly. Something. I want to thank you, man.
My brother gonna jump out a bowl of rice.
I want to thank you for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, giving us a little champagne, wishes, and caviar dream. That's my man, Mark Henry. We appreciate you, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I love the show. Just the fact that we're on here means a lot about pro wrestling. Like, it shows that we all love pro wrestling. It's not always about the brands, but the brands are important. But the fact that we love pro wrestling, that's the most important thing. I thank you, Booker.
Oh, yeah. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.